In the interest of we're 5 minutes past, and Jason has some stuff he wants to talk about, and he does have to leave early, so I'll start now. Um, the big important thing is staging branch is to be created in exactly 1 week's time, next Thursday. Assuming we could potentially delay it a tiny little bit, but we've been pretty firm and sending out regular communications that we really would like to do it on the 20th. So this is your 1 week warning. What does that mean? It means that if you want something in the next release, you should have it merged into the develop branch before November 20th, where we take a branch from develop and we call that the staging branch, and we do at a minimum a 2 week kind of a period where we test that staging branch, make sure it's suitable, uh, give chance for bugs to be discovered in it, for them to be fixed. And after those 2 weeks, well, I'll go through timeline here exactly. A day before that scheduled rough 2 week mark, we have the next Gem5 developers meeting on the 11th. I'm going to treat that as a final kind of sign off from the community. There's not been any injustice. Hopefully, no one's going to jump up and say, "I like stop this wild release. My PRs didn't get in, and they're essential." I'm hoping that that's the last time to discuss any loose ends, or if there are any, or hopefully everyone goes, "Yep, the staging branch looks fine. There's nothing that anyone wants to get in," and after that meeting. Again, if the stadium badge doesn't require more than 2 weeks, and the December 11th dev meeting ends with a sign off, hopefully released on December 12th. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I wouldn't like to push that very far into December because I think people start to become a little bit out of contact later in the month. But typically, we met the 2 week staging branch kind of window. So yeah, and really what I need from I'll put a little bit of time in a bit for anyone to raise anything they think needs to get in that we haven't got. But yeah, how are we going to manage what gets in? Well, there's this. I didn't wasn't quite sure, but I assume everyone can go to this link. I assume this is public. Cartel, did you verify this?
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
okay. You didn't verify it, or it's not public. I thought it was public, and I realized I didn't actually know that for sure. It doesn't matter. I can show here. Um, so we have this fee 25.1 PR checklist. That's a milestone that we can basically tag PRs to go in this milestone. Um, Herschel and Aaron have been going through PRs they think are on track to make it into 25.1 and should be. And we are treating this list as the kind of definitive list of have we got all the things we committed to merging in, and I suspect we wouldn't create the staging branch until this list is cleared. Um, so obviously you can still add to this list. We're not going to block anyone from adding to this list, but it's how we're keeping track of things. As you see, there's quite a few here now. I don't know what's that, like 12 or something. Um, Most of these are pretty standard. I can't think there's really a theme. Just kind of, if anyone casts their mind back, this release was supposed to be one of those sorts of stability, bug improvements in general, making Gem 5 slightly better. But there's not very much, at least from the Davis side, big ticket items that are going to radically change Gem 5, which I think was much needed. Um, I'll stop briefly here before we go on to the next slide. And I know I don't mean to put anyone on the spot, but is there anyone here with some obvious work that isn't represented in these PRs that they're wanting to get in? Of like a substantial size, um, that they're worried about maybe not getting in next week, because we can definitely allocate resources to help shepherd your process in. Um, if it's often people need it to have stuff merged into Gem 5 for certain paper releases and to have things out in the open at a certain time. Is there anyone in this call who wants to discuss anything
So,
about it? Yeah.
a couple of things. So first, can we put issues on this milestone board?
I think we can.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's create an issue for creating the release notes and make sure that's on this board.
Yes, okay. And
That's one thing that's missing.
I'll note that down. Okay.
Um,
Or the release notes can be the PR that actually creates the release notes.
well, we don't have that PR yet, though.
But
Anyway, let's see what else. There's David, do we want to try to get the Neoverse V2 configuration in?
Yeah, it's a good. I thought about it. We can try to get it basically configured like a Neoverse V2, but then it's definitely not correlated. Because I don't have at the moment access to a machine.
Let's see if you get it merged, I might be able to spend some cycles correlating.
Okay.
Alternatively, send me an email to my Google email. I might be able to get you access to a machine as well.
Okay. Okay, I will.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cheap. Yeah, okay. So, send me an email
yeah.
and we can talk.
Okay,
but
let's do this.
If this gets
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, once that's up there, I think I can spend some cycles running correlation for like specs and points.
Okay, that would be interesting.
It won't be before it definitely won't be before the release, and it probably won't be until results probably won't come back until early in the new year, but
okay. I mean, we can always put it in and make a note that it's just configured like DV2, but it's not correlated. If that's an option. I mean, it was also mainly to basically also to have a configuration that people have something that that uses the distributed instruction queue and the decoupled front end.
Yeah.
And
It sounds fine to me as it doesn't sound like this will. Yeah, and if it's really a big thing, we can do a minor release later to update this if it's really a kind of thing. Like
yeah, I mean,
for something like this, it doesn't seem to do any harm, you know. It doesn't interfere with anything else.
Yeah, we'll have to let's David, I'll try to sync up with you in early December. And see what we want to do. We'll have to think a little bit about what we can publish. But we can definitely run the numbers. Whether we can publish those numbers, I'll have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah. I have a I have a friend, and they have a Neoverse core, so it might be possible. Because I mean, I spoke also to Giacomo, and for him it's the same. He cannot. He wants me to do it because he cannot release any numbers from the ARM side. So
yeah, so I mean, I think yeah, let's talk offline.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
I know there's actually not many people in the call today. So Daniel, you didn't have any input in this, or you don't have any PRs that you're desperate to get in. I'll take your silence as we're fine.
Or the silence is trying to poke buttons to figure out how to unmute.
That's normally how, yeah, I've been being cheeky. It's like, but again, guess if anyone's watching.
So the other thing on this list is yeah. So Giacomo isn't here. He's out of the office this week. Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
The answer is no. Sorry.
Thank you, Daniel.
Nice Giacomo's off this week, so he might have something on his list. He's back on Monday.
I'll ping him on Monday. Yeah, he seemed to have seems to, and thankfully, he's actually reviewing a lot of stuff as well, so I have a good idea of what mine's getting. But yeah, anyone's watching the recording here, again, yeah, you've got like a week from now to kind of like plead your case. But the best way to plead your case is actually just be active on your PR and ping us, and yeah. Sorry, Jason, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think from talking to Giacomo, I think all of his big ticket items he's pushed.
Okay. Assuming this is everyone's can access this list, yeah, the URL is sorry. Or it's on the oh wait, I'm not because I'm on the web page, not the slides anymore. It's on this milestone 5. There's other things that need to be done. These are mostly on 2 of the 3 things on me. Just to say that the daily tests are failing. There's 2 there that have the same issue. There's a PR that technically fixes it, and I've been not for it's my PR and Jack wants some genuine feedback that I still don't incorporate, and that PR also fails some CI tests, so it definitely needs work. So I guess you could say there's kind of a fix there that fixes these 2, assuming I can clean up the PR and merge it, which I will. This one I'm a bit more worried about. No, well, it's more worrying, but I'm sure it's not a big deal. But it's a timeout issue with the Gem5 FS Linux ARM. I haven't really looked into it. I only know there's a timeout. So whether that be, but I'm sure it'll also be easy to bisect and see where that occurred. Those are the 3 things that definitely fixed, because obviously they're bug failures. The compiler tests, by the way, are technically failing on 2 tests, but I can't remember who put it in. Someone put in a test to test the address sanitizer compilation, which is a really nice idea, but that's so memory intensive. Our runners just run out of memory, even on single thread, trying to do address sanitization. So I think I'm just going to remove them because we don't have the infrastructure to run that compilation test. That's why they're failing. All other compiler tests we have are passing. Weekly tests also passing.
Are the sanitizer have we run them locally to see if they're passing still?
I guess I can do that. There's no harm in it. Yeah, I've just been failing on the runners because they're yeah. I'll do some run. I'll set up a run on my beefier machine here and see if they pass. But yeah, I don't think
that we don't have the infrastructure for that.
Yeah,
I
mean, there's limits. Okay, I think that's well, this is kind of the question asked before, but like again, and I've got it again. Then I guess anyone listening recording, just hey, reach out through our channels. We'll get your stuff in. Just make yourself known. Jason, you wanted to talk about. I did have. I'll load up. Do you want to? I'll load up the PR, and if you want to just the issue.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah, I thought I had it open somewhere in my desktop.
So just real quick, if people have any input on this, the stat names have been an annoyance in trying to do machine readable stats forever. Well, the stats file is not very machine readable. It's a huge pain. And one of the things, even if we had a better format, we run into this other problem where the names of vector objects, of vector stats, are not machine readable at all. So there's 2 pieces to this that make it not very machine readable. One is if you have a vector stat or a vector sim object that only has 1 object in it, it has no number. It just looks as if it's a singleton object. And then the other problem is it's the names are automatically human readable in that they're sorted correctly, so they have pre-printed zeros on them. So you can't even yeah, it's terribly annoying for machines. So I would like to make it where the names of things, I guess the names of sim objects, are bracketed when they're vector sim objects. But I don't know how to do this in a way that's optional or in a way that's backwards compatible. And I hate to break everyone's parsing code. So if you look at the code block down there, Poppy,
Okay, yeah.
that kind of shows, maybe zoom in a bit. Can you make it a bit bigger?
I asked if I can remember how you do this. Yeah. That better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this code which is setting the name. So you can see if the length of the vector is 1,
So
then it sets the name as name.
okay.
Otherwise, it figures out how many things are in it and prepends the right number of zeros, base 10, and makes the name with a number. I don't know if there are any thoughts around this.
And I'm sure there's a good reason this first, but why don't we just do this? Like, why is this not allowed? Like, why did they do this instead of this for these? Is it because you can't have these square brackets?
No, there's
Oh,
no reason not to do square bracket. I'm
Oh.
proposing doing square brackets.
Oh, sorry.
instead.
I thought. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say.
But this is the current code is here, and if we go to square brackets, it's going to break all parsing code.
Yeah. Well, all I'll say is I remember having to deal with this when I was doing improvements to the stats. Like this was a pain, and
Yes.
I don't know. It would improve my life vastly if this was just square brackets. And I'm okay breaking things because nothing should build on top of this madness.
You're okay with breaking things, but there's a lot of people who have years and years of parsing code lying around that might be less okay with having all their code break.
This is a bad foundation to build on, I really don't. Yeah, the if len equals 1 is the one that kills me. Just like
Yeah, the other one's a little bit annoying, but any thoughts?
I mean, if you're wanting, I would say yes, sign off, and if
Okay.
that's like, is there any dissenting opinion, I guess, to that?
Well, usually when I make a change like this, I like to make it optional. But with the way the code is in the, you can go to that link to see where the code is. It's in params. But with where that code is, I don't see any way to make it an option.
With this, is there any, or even our concept, is there any way to distinguish between this and just a sim object with a number on the end? Anyway, named that way, like, or the concept, or is that
No, I guess if you named your sim object with a number on the end, there'd be no way to distinguish between the two.
And they are different, yeah, because
this is a vector.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I can't see how you could support both, and yeah, I mean, it's either keep this forever or actually change it, I think. Which you can.
Do we want to do it at the end of a release? Do we want to do it before the release? I mean, it's a very simple change.
And what's your intuition on how, like, do you think you're gonna get lots of errors propagating throughout Gem5 when you do this? Like, is it gonna create a lot of bugs you have to fix rapidly in the next 2 weeks? Or
no, it's not going to create any bugs. It's going to be when someone downloads the new Gem5 and then runs their script to parse the stats.
Well,
their stat parser will probably just vomit.
Well, yeah, I guess because yes, it is.
David, thoughts?
So if people just parse the normal stats, will it break? Is it just?
So if you have stats parsing that's going through and like finding all the CPUs and then aggregating the CPU, so say like taking the average IPC across all the CPUs, you won't be able to find the CPU 0, CPU 1, CPU 2 with the same regex anymore.
Okay, now I get it. Yeah.
I think if we were I think if this was a very official thing, we would do it at the beginning of a release cycle, so you can say people have a whole release cycle on the dev to make sure their scripts work with this new thing that's coming out. But realistically, I don't think many people are we take advantage of that. But do you think it's gonna be that much work for people to update their scripts to work in this way? It seems
I mean,
it's
Matt
hard to.
Sinclair isn't here. He would be the
Okay.
one that's arguing hard for not changing things.
Well, Matt Sinclair's scripts or something else. I'm sure I wouldn't want to update them either. So I don't know. I guess I don't know if you. Is there literally anyone in this call who would even with slight grumbles about this?
I'm okay with it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I think there's definitely people in our lab that have scripts that aggregate things across CPUs, and they might grumble, but they didn't come to this meeting. So
But I mean, you have to anyway have some kind of hack, or not to, then you just have to change the hack.
Well, I mean, the new hack will be much simpler because you can have a
Exactly.
single check whether it's a vector of length 0 or a vector of length n, a single regex.
So if you have them just one core, will it be bracket 0 and no bracket 1, or is it then?
But it depends on if it's if it's a vector of sim objects or not.
Okay.
So for let me try to think. I think in the standard library, it's always a list of CPUs on the board. So that would now be bracket 0, even if you have a single CPU. But if you
Okay.
wrote your own thing that was never more than one CPU, like if your system.cpus is not a list, then it would just show, if you had system.cpu and that wasn't a list, then it would just show up as system.cpu. If you did system.cpus and you had a list that had a single CPU in it, right now that shows up as system.cpus. Now, like with this change, it would show up as system.cpus bracket 0.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I think with that, which I think is good, because this is a bit annoying that if you just have one element, then there is no number, and if you have two elements, then there are numbers. This is a bit.
and basically an array with one element in it isn't the same as one element. I think that's not how computers work.
Exactly.
I mean, it's fine for humans. Like this is a very human readable name.
I think yeah, it's nice to say CPU 1 and CPU 2. That's like almost like their name, but yeah, that's the only thing I can think for. I don't know.
Okay, sounds good.
Um,
I'll push a PR and we can discuss there. Let's hold off on committing it until the last minute, though.
Jason, would it not be possible to create a little post, a way to turn this output into old format? Because you're just basically taking out the brackets, and if it's just, I don't know, maybe the way to figure out if just one, you just,
I mean,
drop it
sure,
completely.
I could create a script that did that.
That like converts it to old style if people really complain.
Yeah, I could do
I mean,
that. It's a very simple regex.
Yeah. Well, if people are really saying I've got these giant scripts I've been maintaining for years and I can't use them anymore, add this as a pipe to the front. Okay. Anyone have anything? I guess this is kind of the open mic part of the meeting. I didn't have any more things we needed to discuss. Floor is open. Sparsely attended meeting this week, so I'm not surprised. Okay. I guess remember, yeah, right, yep. And I'm just wrapping up. So just anyone who's listening to recording and whatever else, next Thursday, the 20th, is when we plan to create staging branch. Please everything in. Use the milestones, keep track of things. Release in the mid December, as we normally do. And yep, thank everyone. Let's make this release a success. And as always, please reach out to me if you have any questions or anything else. And if you want to fight with Jason about using your beautiful stats processing scripts don't work anymore, he's going to create a PR that will demonstrate this, and you can make a comment on it. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in a month's time, and have a good rest of your day. And thank you for contributing to Gem5. Bye for now.